evening. This is the story of Japanese ghost story. Talk back from the incident around 1986 in the area of Central Java, precisely around Kedu. That afternoon, Lasmi and her husband Tarno were seriously talking about the condition of their skulls, which has been very quiet for the past few days, feeling confused and sad because they will soon have to pay the rent. While the money has not been collected to pay the rent, every day they have to owe here and there. Luckily, there are still neighbors who want to give them a loan. How about this, ma'am? The store is unreliable, Tarno asked his wife. Yes, I'm also dizzy about this, answered Lasmi. Well, if you don't want to do it, Mas Raji, all of your choose all of you choose your capital. And the next day and the next day at dawn, Tarno left for the city where Raji was. This Raji is basic food entrepreneur who is quite successful in his city. After a journey of approximately 2 hours, Tarno arrived at Raji's majestic and classic house. And Raji said, immediately opened the conversation. How are you, Tarno? Yes, just like this. Tarno said like that, with a wry face. Raji smiled and said quietly, Are you sure? And then Tarno was dumbfounded for a moment. Yes, I'm sure. Raji spoke very quietly to Tarno until Tarno was surprised to hear it. Dodol garam at the grave. Dodol garam means selling salt at the burial. Wow, it's perverted. I don't dare to go astray. It's up to you. Then Turner said, I just changing the clock. And finally, the two of them had lunch together in a very busy restaurant that afternoon. This restaurant is quite famous in the city. Well, look at this restaurant. No, you will definitely think it's a cellar. It's fair to say that, said Raji. How do you do it? How do you do it if you do? And then the two of them had seriously discussion for a while. Finally, Tarno was taken to the bus terminal to go home. And along the way, Tarno thought, how did he go through the ritual selling salt in the grave? Until the day came when he had to carry out the ritual with the remaining savings. Tarno went shopping for salt pronkel or coarse salt. In the market, he separated a handful of salt and put in the grave. He said goodbye to his wife, who actually had forbidden it, but what can he say? Tarno was determined to carry out the heretical ritual. Then Tarno arrived at the gate of the village cemetery. The times show 23:47. Tarno would soon start this ritual and enter the cemetery area. Garam, garam, he said. Or we can say salt, salt, shouted Tarno, starting the ritual. The time was 12 past 12 is the right time. And entering, Tarno arrived at the gate of the village cemetery. Times show 23:47. And Tana would soon start this ritual and entering the cemetery area. Garam, garam, or we could say salt, salt, salt the Tarno. Starting the ritual, the time was 12. 12 is the right time. Entering approximately 12 steps in the cemetery, suddenly someone called him. Mas, tumpas garame, or it's called Mas, I want to buy salt. Tarno rushed to the origin of the voice, and there was a beautiful young woman in a robe waiting for him. How much is the price? Asked the woman. It's up to you, madam, said Tarno. The woman took out some banknotes from her kebaya or clothes and paid them directly to Tarno. Thank you, madam, said Tarno, blushing because he saw the woman with her beauty, fragrance, but she looks pale. Tarno left the woman and went deeper to the cemetery and again shouted, Garam, garam. Salt, salt. From the side there is a low voice calling, Mas, garam. Sure, I want to buy salt. What a surprise. Tarno saw the figure of who called him, the figure of corpse wrapped in a shroud with a face full of blood, and his eyes were about to come out. Whoa, that's so very scary. Yeah, here I bow. The figure of the pocho handed him some hundreds of thousands of money. Did not dare to look at the buyer. The stance and the rancidity is different from the first buyer. Tarno talked like that. Then Tarno resumed his rituals, walked deeper into the burial area, still afraid to see the buyer, and again someone called him from his right. Kerme mas, mas, I want to buy a salt. Tarno turned his head and saw a middle-aged woman in white dress leaning against a Cambodian tree. Again, this buyer immediately handed over hundreds of thousands of bills and receiving the guarantee from Tarno. The woman immediately turned around, which showed that her back had a big hole with the maggots, and Tarno returned very frightened and vomited, but he was determined as hard as steel. And there was only a few salt. Tarno rushed to go home, but again a voice called out to him, Salt! Tarno looked in the direction where the sounds comes from. He saw the figure of a large, tall creature. Tarno's head is only reaches the creature's knees. Can you imagine it? Whoa. His body is covered with a black fur like a big monkey. This is Gederuo, Tarno talk. Here, Garame. This is the salt. And creature immediately took the salt from Tarno's basket and threw some red money at Tarno's face. This creature does look rogue. He also peed Tarno. Wow. Tarno didn't feel like peeing in his pants. His fear was extraordinary. Tarno is still determined into the tomb area even deeper. Where there are tens of years old tombs, someone called him again. Mas Garam was looking for his voice from below. Under Tarno's feet, there was a piece of human head grinning, laughing, and near the head there was already 100,000 notes. Tarno just took and put the salt near him. Thank you, said Tarno. And then he said, hopefully it sells. This time Tarno had to face a tall pocong figure as tall as powerful. His face was black. Mas garam, said the figure. Tarno gives the salt and receives a number of hundreds of thousands of seeds from the figure. And again, Tarno continued his journey down the tomb area deeper. This time is a woman with beautiful face, but again, her face is pale, her hair is very long to the ground. And as usually, the salt given and paid for, and the girl flew away and giggling. Can you imagine it, giggling and fly? And then salt it's only a few more, and Thanos show a pair of cut hands with fresh blood. And Tarna already understood. Then he gave it to the pair of cut hands. That's how the life of Tarna's family. Their world is getting bigger. His tall branches are everywhere. The employees are many. All the goods are luxuries. They have everything quickly. Till the end, they were not tricked, either moved to another city or area. And there was no more news about them until one day they heard news that they had a great fire. Their two children, who were still toddlers, died. And their world was one till finally the food store branch, or more precisely at the time called the restaurant, went bankrupt. That's horrible. Yeah. The moral of the story is that's how everything that is instant and misguided will disappear quickly. So be grateful. We are always on the right path, praying to God, praying to Allah as their owner of life. So never ever make a deal with the devil, Satan, demon, or whatever that name, and pray and keep praying. And thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Thank you.